Hey guys, welcome. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. So in this video, we're gonna learn how to run a secure HTTPS server on our local machine. And we also learn how to run an Angular and Node application on HTTPS server locally. So today all modern applications, they use secure HTTPS connection. So today we also gonna learn how to run this on our local machine. Right? Okay, let's go. Okay, so first we need to create our root SSL certificate, and then we would come to the domain certificate. So don't worry about this, first concentrate on the root SSL certificate. Now what is a root SSL certificate and why do we need this? So root SSL certificate is a special kind of SSL certificate that is verified by a trusted CA. Now CA is certificate authority, so it should be verified by a trusted certificate authority. Now all operating systems and web browsers, they come up with default root CAs. So our first step is to create our own root SSL certificate and to register with our Mac. Okay, sounds good? Fine. So the first step in creating our root SSL certificate is to create a RSA2048 key. What is a RSA2048 key? RSA2048 is an encryption algorithm that we can use to generate our private key. So this private key is used in creating our root SSL certificate. Okay, so as you can see RSA2048, so it is saying that is a very strong encryption algorithm used by some cyber criminals. Don't worry about that. So this is basically an algorithm that we would use to create a private key which we're gonna use in creating our root SSL certificate. Okay, Now take a look in this command that we can use to create our RSA2048 key, right? I'm just copying it and I will explain it to you. Don't worry, just give me a second. Okay, so right, this is my command. OpenSSL generate RSA, output is root SSL ca.key 2048 bits. Enter. Okay. Now come here, what it is asking for? It is asking for a passphrase. So guys, be very careful here because this passphrase is going to be very important. This could be asked in creating our root SSL certificate. So please be very careful with this. And always remember, my suggestion is to note it down somewhere. So I'm entering my passphrase. This is going to ask me for the second time for the verification. Okay, and look, my key is done, right? Now let's go and see this. Can you see this? I created my root SSL CA key. It shows it is beginning RSA private key and there is the end, right? So we have created our private key, RSA2048 key. Now we're gonna use this key to create our root SSL certificate. Okay, so now what is the command that I can use to create my root SSL certificate? The command is right here, and I will put all these commands in a link below the video, so don't worry about that. Right, I copied it. Now here again. Now look what I'm doing here. I'm creating OpenSSL X509. This is a standard. Don't worry, new nodes, the key. Now this is the key that I have created, root SSL ca.key. SHA-256 is the hashing algorithm that we are using in creating this certificate. Days 1024 is the validity period for this certificate, and the output, root SSL. Now I'm going to change this to root SSL ca. Okay, so this is the name, root SSL ca.pem is the name of my root SSL certificate, right? Now go and press enter. Okay, now it is asking for the same passphrase that we have used when we creating our private key, right? So that's why I told you, be very sure about that. Okay, I entered. Now look what it is asking for. It is asking for your country name. So always be very specific with this information and do remember it as well. So my country name, then my state or province name, my locality name, organization. So this information would be asked in future when we will create our other domain certificate. So that's why I'm saying please remember or note it down somewhere. Okay, so I have completed my information and I'm just giving enter, right? So now I'm done. I've created my root SSL certificate. Now let's go and take a look. There it is. My root SSL ca.pem. This is my root SSL certificate. So guys, we have created our key, and by using that key we have created our root SSL certificate. That's good. Now what else? Now the second step is to create our domain certificate. Now a very simple question, why there is a need to create a domain certificate? We already have a root SSL certificate. So these domain certificates are specific for a kind of process. So here we need to run this local host as a secure server. So we will create our domain certificate, and these domain certificates will be verified by our root SSL certificate, which is a trusted CA authority in our Mac. But we have not registered our root SSL certificate in the Mac. So before creating our domain certificate, we need to register them. We need to register our root certificate in the Mac. So what we need to do, we need to open our keychain access on the Mac and click System, go to the File and Import Items, right? So here you can go to your folder where you have created your root SSL certificate. There it is, right? From here you can import it. Okay, I'm not gonna do this because I already have my certificate, so I'm gonna cancel it, but you can import this from here. And once you will import it, you will find it here. So this is the name of my certificate. This is a root certificate authority, the expiration date June 1, 2021, and all other information, blah blah blah. So we are done with our root certificate, and we also register it on the Mac, right? Great. Now let's move ahead. Okay, to create a domain certificate, first we need 2 configuration files. So the first configuration file, I named it as localserver.csr.cnf, and the second one is details.ext. Okay, now take a look into the code. Okay, so there it is, my localserver.csr.cnf. So these are some of the configuration details. The first is the required, and these configuration details will be used by the local server, the certificate that we will use to run our local host, right? So what we have done, the required default bits, prompt, default add, all this information, 2048 because we created RSA 2048 key, SHA-256 is the hashing algorithm. Now let's come to this domain information. So if you remember, this is the information that we have entered when we creating our root certificate. So country, state, locality, office, AU, and email address, all other information. So the same information that we have entered there, right? Fine. The second file is details.ext. So don't worry about this. This is just a configuration detail, so I'm not gonna go into the detail of this, but you can find this code in this file, and I will put a link to this file below the video, right? So now we are done with these 2 things. Now what are the next steps? Now the next step is to create our local key and our local domain certificate, right? So again, I'm gonna copy this command and I'm going back to my terminal and I'm pasting it. Now take a look. OpenSSL required new 256 hashing algorithm nodes out. Now take a look into this name, local server.csr, right? This is the configuration file that we have created. So I already told you we're going to use this information to create our key and our local certificate, and there it is. Now I'm creating a new key. Again, this is a RSA2048 key out, the name of my key, local server.key. This is the name of my local server key, config cat server.csr.cnf. So here we need to change this name because I'm using local server.csr.cnf. okay, right. Now let's go and press enter. Okay, it's done. I've created my local server key. Now go and take a look. Okay, there it is. Again, it's a private key. We created it using RSA2048. So this is my local key and this is my root SSL key, right? Now what's next? Now the last step. Now we need to create our domain certificate, right? Again, I'm gonna copy it. Control C, I'm gonna put it here. Control V. So take a look. OpenSSL X509, the standard required in local server.csr, the name of the configuration file. Now come here, CA, root SSL ca.pem, certificate authority. So this is our root certificate authority, root SSL certificate name, right? Now certificate authority key, this is our root CA key. Okay, then the output. Now what is the name of our local certificate? So you can name it whatever you would like to. I put it as local server.crt. Validation period 500 days, hashing algorithm SHA-256, extension file details.extension. So this is the second configuration file that we are using to create it. Okay, now press enter. Again, it is asking for my passphrase. And there it is. I have created my certificate. Now go and take a look. Okay, there it is. Local server.crt. Can you see this? It's my local certificate. It's my domain certificate that I'm gonna use when I will go and run my local server. Okay, so take a look into this. This is a very simple scaffolding structure of an Express application. So in my package.json, I have installed Express as one of my dependencies. And take a look here. I included a folder called certificate and I have put these two files. If you remember, we created local server.crt and local server.key. So I just included this inside my application. And now let's go and create the secure server. So I'm using Express. I have created the application and this is my port number. Now how to do this file configuration? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a const file config, and this file const config is going to be, just to do this I need to include file system require, okay, fs, right? So now I'm having this file system module included. Okay, so now this const file config is an object. I'm gonna use key where I'm gonna go with fs dot read file sync, and I also need one more thing here, const path require path. So these are the core modules of Node. So I just need to do path Yeah, so I will take path dot join dir name plus and my file name certificate local server. So just take a name local server dot key, right? This is my key. So and the second value is second key is assert and read file sync path dot join dir name plus certificate and there is local server dot certificate, right? So this is my file configuration object where I have declared two keys, key and certificate. I am reading these files in a synchronous fashion. So I'm not using an asynchronous fashion because in order to run my server I need these files to be read before I could run my server. Okay, now I need one more module, HTTPS module. Okay, so this is again a secure module, HTTPS from Node Core. Okay, right, now create an HTTPS server. So I'm gonna use HTTPS, right, dot create server. Okay, so now what we need to pass inside this, right? So this is my HTTPS server, right? So I would do file config and app. Now app is my Express application and I would assign this as my HTTPS server. Okay, so do you notice what I have done here? I have created a const HTTPS server and I have I called https.create server file config application, right? Okay, now we just need to listen to the server and we are done. Okay, so I'm using my port and a callback simply to show that I'm running my server. Okay, so server is running on port, or I would say $port. Okay, so there is one small change. I make it CERT, however it is CRT, so remove E. Okay, one additional step to run this on to the browser, I need to create a simple GET request so that server can respond to that. So I'm taking it like this. It's a simple middleware. Okay, so response dot status 200 dot send HTTPS secure server. Okay, this is nothing, just a kind of string to show that we are running something. Okay, so now we are done. We have created our server. We are done with the coding part. Now let's go and run this application. Okay, So I'm gonna go and run node server.js, right? And look, it's successful. Server is running on 9000. Now let's go and run the server in the browser. Okay, so it's a new tab and I'm running it like this. So look, HTTPS localhost 9000, right? We are running the server on 9000. Now let's go and run this and see, we are running a secure server, localhost 9000. Right now, if I go and look in my network tabs, if I refresh it again, look, localhost, right? Everything is fine. We are running a secure HTTPS server. Hi, so now this is an Angular application. I created this Angular application using Angular CLI version 6, and I have done nothing. This is just a simple app and I'm running it using command ngserve. Okay, so look, localhost 4200, a simple app, but this is not a secure. Okay, so how could we convert this into a secure app that could be run on HTTPS? So here is the command. So take a look into this command, ngserve, a normal Angular command to run a development server, but what else? So we are using SSL flag, then I'm using the name of my project, Angular Secure Server Demo, then SSL key. Now this is the path of my local server key, right? And then the last is SSL certificate, local server.crt, right? I think I have missed certificate. There it is. So this is the path of my local certificate, right? Now I will put this command in my Angular application. So what I have done here, I created a new script, HTTPS client, and I am giving the same command that we have shown in the demo figure. So again, ngserve, SSL, Angular Secure Server Demo, key, and SSL certificate, local server.crt, right? Now let's go and run this. So I would run npm run HTTPS client, right? So I'm running this command, HTTPS client. Okay, so can you see I'm running my Angular application with HTTPS server and it is running fine. So now let's go to the browser and check. Okay, so I'm gonna open a new tab. I'm gonna paste localhost 4200 and see it's running. So our client-side Angular application is running on localhost. Now go to the network tab, again refresh it, and everything is fine. See, localhost 4200 and everything is fine. And also check our server-side application. Here as well, we are running on localhost, HTTPS. So now you are having both your applications running on secure server, and this is what we want to do. So I really hope you enjoy this video, and thank you so much for watching it. Have a great day. Goodbye.